Hello and welcome back to WBCR 90.3 FM. Welcome to Beloit Circus Jams, hosted by yours truly, Julianna. Welcome back to this week's microdose of the chaos that is my friends and their music tastes. This week, we have a very special guest on today, my good friend, Paloma.
Hello.
Here at WBCR, me and my co-producers have recently gotten Paloma into our production here, as she is going to be one of our media managers for the show. So Everyone should give a round of applause to her for that. She's been doing a great job already advertising a lot of this show, and we appreciate her for it.
All Instagram stories.
Oh,
I'm doing good.
The best. How are you doing today?
Yes.
Yeah? Yeah? Do you want to tell us a little bit about the theme that you've got for us?
Okay, so it's more of an era. So we have late 60s to early 70s songs. Although one is technically late 60s, but it's fine. Not late 60s, late 70s, sorry. It's fine.
We'll allow it here. Alright, well, the first song you've got up for us is Doctor My Eyes by Jackson Browne. Anything you want to tell us before this starts?
Okay, so a lot of the songs on here I was introduced to A, through my parents, and B, through a lovely documentary on epics called Laurel Canyon.
Okay.
And it's all about the music scene of Laurel Canyon, Los Angeles in the late 60s and early 70s.
Nice. All right. So, without further ado, here's Doctor My Eyes by Jackson Browne.
Doctor, my eyes have seen the years and the slow parade of fears without crying. Now I want to understand. I have done all that I could to see the evil and the good without hiding. You must help me if you can. Doctor, my eyes, tell me what is wrong. Was I unwise to leave them open for so long? 'Cause I have wandered through this world, and as each moment has unfurled, I've been waiting to awaken from these dreams. People go just where they will. I never noticed them until I got this feeling that it's later than it seems. Doctor, my eyes, tell me what you see. I hear their cries. Just say if it's too late for me. Not to cry.
And we're back. All right, Paloma, what do you have to tell us about this song?
Okay, so the music itself, like the instruments, just put me in a really, really good mood.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so cheerful, and that's part of the reason why I love this song, because the lyrics aren't that cheerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because basically the song is the statement of a man who had stoically endured life's hardships, but having done so, now worried that he has been rendered unable to feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because I know a lot of the music that we listen to, it's sort of an outlet for what we're feeling.
Yeah.
So for this song to be using an outlet because you don't feel anything is a very fun contrast.
Yeah, I discovered this song, I think, around the start of the pandemic.
All right.
And I think it was also, like, I knew that things were going to get worse. Or at least I figured that things were going to get worse, and then they did.
Yeah.
So I just kind of walked around with this song in my ears for a while.
Yeah, it's a good song to do that to. Any reason why you gravitated towards this one specifically?
Okay, so, the album cover for this song, his hairstyle, it's Jackson, yeah. This man looks like Luke Skywalker, right?
He really does.
Yeah.
It's the hairstyle, the way that it's cut. It's almost like a bob, almost, but the way it sits flatly on his head. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just, that's aesthetic. And B, the overall vibe of the song is just something I really enjoy.
Oh, yeah. It's very fun. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the next song you have up for us is California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas.
Ho-ho.
Anything you want to introduce?
But
Are you dreaming of California?
I mean, maybe, although if it was colder, I probably would be dreaming of California a lot more,
Yeah.
but for some reason, it's warm right now in Wisconsin.
Yeah. It's upsettingly warm. For our viewers not in the state of Wisconsin, it is upsettingly warm. It was a high of 74 today. And Paloma and I here, we're both from Los Angeles, so we're used to this temperature, but it's November 3rd. It should not be LA degrees.
It should
Here.
not.
So, with that,
Yep.
California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas.
Passed along the way. Well, I got down on my knees, and I pretend to pray. You hear the preacher like the cold. He knows I'm gonna stay. California dreaming on such a winter's day.
we're back. Alright, Paloma, what you got about this song?
Okay, so apparently there's a thing called the quote-unquote California sound.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, us being from California, we've probably heard it and just not,
Oh, yeah.
really knowing that it's California sound.
Yeah.
But it's the folk, rock, and pop song kind of aesthetic, and it originated from artists in SoCal in the 1960s.
Ho-ho.
Yeah.
You love to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, the second you said, like, that folk rock sound, like, oh, wow, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because California, there's just so many different types of people that moved there for such different reasons.
Oh, yeah.
It makes sense why the California sound is just, like, a blend of much of American music.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And a lot of that music was played in nightclubs like the Troubadour on Sunset, I think.
Okay.
You know, in Santa Monica, around there.
Ho-ho.
Yeah. And for those at home, I am wearing a Troubadour shirt.
Yeah, she brought the merch for today. She came very prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was talking to her during the break about how, for me, this song is unfortunately associated with the Powerball lottery.
No.
Because in the early, mid-2010s, I believe, they had this huge campaign for the radio where they had this song, but I think it was like they had children singing it, because of course that's what you think of when you think of a lottery. Children singing California Dreamin'.
Of course, as one does.
Yeah. I didn't mind when the commercial came on, because the song's just a vibe.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was very aware of lotteries at a younger age than I was expecting. But yeah, this is a very fun song to listen to, because if you're wearing headphones, you get the main vocals in one ear, and then the harmonies in the other.
Yeah.
And funny story, I was at a Ralph's, which is a local Los Angeles store. It's like their version of Kroger. And I think something had gone wrong with a speaker in there.
Oh, no.
Because it was just the harmonies playing. And I was there with my dad and my brother, and I was like, something's off about the song. And it took me a whole minute. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't even hear the melody.
Oh,
it's
no.
just the harmonies. But the song's so good that you don't even need the melody at that point.
Fair.
Right?
Yeah.
It's very identifiable.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, the next song you have up for us is Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is by Chicago. Do you have anything you want to say before we start?
Okay, so this is a song I think that my mom introduced me to. She introduced me to a lot of Chicago songs, actually.
Good.
And I think it was only until, like, years later after that point that I discovered that my dad also had Chicago songs, which is great.
Yeah, that's fun. All right. Well, here, Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is by Chicago.
As I was walking down the street one day, a man came up to me and asked me what the time was that was on my watch. Yeah, I said, does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? So I can't imagine why we've all got time enough to cry. I was walking down the one day. A pretty lady looked at me and said her diamond watch had stopped cold dead. And I said, does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? If so, I can't imagine why. We've all got time enough to cry. And I was walking down the street one day, being pushed and shoved by people trying to beat the clock. Oh, I just don't know. I'm so and I said, yes, I said, does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? If so, I can't imagine why. We've all got time enough to die. Everybody's worried. I don't care about time. I don't care.
All right, and we're back. Paloma, what do you have for Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is?
Okay, so first of all, it's just this really kind of goofy concept of people just wondering what the time is and turning that into a song.
Mhm.
Secondly, the instruments in this song, oh my god.
It's really fun.
Yeah, no, just the way they all come together just scratches my brain in a really nice way.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
The trumpet that they've got going on.
Uh-huh.
The
The piano.
yeah. The story it tells.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a much more upbeat, nicer version of Ain't No Rest for the Wicked in that very similar storytelling manner, because it's like, I'm walking down the street, does anybody care about me? A pretty lady's looking at me, and she said her watch isn't working anymore. No one knows what time it is. It's got
Nope.
that repetitive line, so
Mhm.
it's very fun.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it is 7:20 p.m. here in the studio. Is there anything you'd like to shout out on campus for us?
Yes. So, if you aren't aware by now, which I'm not quite sure how you're not, but, so Spiel puts on Milkshake Mondays every other Monday in the Mauer link.
Yep.
Which is the connecting piece of building between Mauer and Aldrich.
Mhm.
And there's going to be one November 14th, so watch out for that if you would like any flavor of milkshake with any flavor of additives.
Yeah, they've got a lot there. They've got sprinkles. Allison, over there on the couch, what else do they have?
Smoothies?
They got smoothies.
Yo.
There's usually like a special flavor of ice cream available.
Special flavor. It depends on what day you go. Does it change?
Depends on what they find at the store that week, so it can change.
Fair. Depends on what they find. All right, and that is from 6:30 to 8:30. So there's no downside to going. You get a free milkshake.
Yeah.
I really don't. There's not a lot to say here. You
No,
just go.
yeah.
You got to bring your own cup, but I mean, come on, for a free milkshake, you should do that. All right. All right, Paloma. The next song you have up for us is "Arnold Lane" by Pink Floyd. Would you like
Yeah.
to introduce this to us?
Okay, so it's not the best Pink Floyd song. However, it is their first single.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and let's see, when was I, oh yeah, I think I was first introduced to this song while visiting a Pink Floyd exhibit in a museum.
Ooh.
Yeah, it had all kinds of like merch and paraphernalia.
Oh, yeah.
There was different rooms for different albums. There was a small model copy of this giant pig that they floated in the so it was like a blow up balloon,
Okay.
but it was giant, and they just sent it through London.
As you do.
Or yeah,
All right.
it was part of the publicity for an album other than the one that Arnold Lane is, unfortunately.
Fair. All right. Without further ado, we have Arnold Lane by Pink Floyd.
Arnold Lane had a strange hobby, collecting clothes, moonshine, washing line. They suit him fine. On the wall hung a tall mirror, distorted view, see through baby blue. He dug it, oh, Arnold Lane, it's not the same. Takes two to know, two to know. Arnold Lane, Arnold Lane, Arnold Now he's caught, a nasty sort of person. They gave him time, doors bang, chain gang. He hated, oh, Arnold Lane, it's not the same. Takes two to know, two to know, two to know, two to know. Why can't you see? Arnold Lane, Arnold Lane, Arnold Lane, Arnold Lane, I'll do it again.
All right, and we're back. All right, Paloma, what do you have for Arnold Lane?
Okay, so the music video for this song, kind of wild.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, they're just silly little guys at the beach, and they have weird kind of masks. Sometimes they're just standing in line staring at the camera. Other times they are doing, I don't know, just weird little quirky things, like a mannequin, just like holding it above their heads, putting it in a car. All around, I think it's just silly, and I think that is iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
And when I told my music theory professor about this earlier today. He said yeah, no, that sounds like Pink Floyd.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to a couple of their songs, but I hadn't heard this one before. But yeah, this is very much them.
Yeah.
All right. So, the next song you have up for us is Starman by David Bowie. Any
Yes.
introduction you want to give us?
Only that I'm sorry to say that I think my first introduction to this song was a movie. Not that the movie is bad or anything. It's The Martian, but
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it feels kind of weird being introduced to a song or an artist that's like really big, but like the first time you're hearing them is in a movie.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. With that said, here's Starman by David Bowie.
Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low. I leaned back on my radio. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll, that is all he said. Then the loud sound, it seemed to fade. Came back like a slow voice on a wave of fade. That wasn't no DJ, that was hazy cosmic jive. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie. Switch on the TV, we may pick him up on channel 2. Look out your window, I can see his light. If we can sparkle, he may land tonight. Don't tell your papa, or he'll get us locked up and tight. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman
All right, and we're back. Gotta love 70s songs, and they're just transition out of songs. They don't really end them. They just get quieter.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Yeah. Also, just we gotta love David Bowie's commitment to space.
Oh, right?
First off, I mean, going by Ziggy Stardust for a while, and then, I mean, not only having Starman, but also Major Tom and Moon Age Daydream, Lady Stardust.
He's got a theme.
Yeah.
I respect it. He commits to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our lovely friend Allison over here on the couch and we were like, wow, this reminds us of something, but we can't really put our finger on it. And so she goes, I think it's from the Lightyear trailer. And so I threw her my phone and she started listening to it and she's like, I was right. So,
Man.
that I was wondering, because I feel like this has like entered pop culture recently again, because you know, Lightyear, it's about space.
Yeah.
We got to use Starman, because he's a man in the stars.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
It's real deep. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the next song you have up for us is My Sweet Lord by George Harrison. Anything you want to tell us before?
Right, so, did you know that George Harrison was a Beatles member?
I did not, but it sounds familiar, so.
Yeah, no, he's the George in
Oh.
John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting that his style of music is way different than most of what the Beatles did.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's give it a listen then. Again, My Sweet Lord by George Harrison. welcome back from our second song that ends by fading out to nothing. All right, Paloma, what you got for us?
Okay, so let's see. There was so if you don't you don't have Disney Plus, there is a documentary series on there that has a lot of behind the scenes Beatles stuff. And so I knew My Sweet Lord before watching that series.
Yeah.
And then there was a moment in one of the episodes where George talks about, or like references a Buddha at some point. It's really small. Like it can't be more than like 3 sentences.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was a cool little connection in my head.
Yeah, because initially I just, kind of assumed that the song was about, Christianity, because that's the norm in America. But yeah, I looked at the lyrics, I was like, oh wow, they're talking about a lot of different religions.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Not exactly something you'd expect, but very nice of them.
Yeah, and really, really quickly, I would like to shout out my aunt, because she texted me a little bit ago with quoting my question to you. Did you know that George Harrison was a Beatle, with a bunch of laughy crying emojis? and then youth. What was your response again?
I'm like, listen, I'm not that cultured, because, my dad, of course, maybe not my dad, one of my parents, I believe, would tell me, like, what the Beatles' names were, and a little bit of backstory, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, and then it immediately left my mind. So.
Yeah, he was the lead guitarist.
Yeah, which is very cool. You wouldn't expect it from how cool his voice sounds, which, very fun of him.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. And the next song you have up for us is Our House by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. But before we get to that, it is 7:41 here in the studio, and we have something to shout out. So, not to promote another thing from Spiel, but they've got a lot of stuff going on, some reoccurring stuff, so guys, come on, pump up your game. But they have game nights every Friday from 6:30 p.m. to whenever people are tired. It is in Godzilla Lounge, which is the bottom floor of Wood, and they play tabletop games, and they play video games, and it's just all around a fun time, so go ahead and check it out if you are a game enjoyer.
Yeah.
So, Paloma, Our House, what you got to tell us about this before we start?
Okay, so this is another, quote-unquote, Laurel Canyon song. And so Crosby was at one of the various parties that various artists throw in their large houses in Laurel Canyon.
As they do.
As they do.
Very California.
And he met this woman there once named Joni Mitchell.
Yo, I know her!
Yeah. They hit it off. And Our House is, I believe, something that the two of them wrote together.
Oh, that's so cool!
Yeah. And I also think that Crosby may or may not have done the guitar or bass for one or a few of Joni's songs.
All right.
Yeah.
Getting some lore here in the studios. Awesome. All right. Well, without further ado, here's Our House.
I'll light the fire. You place the flowers in the vase that you bought today. Staring at the fire for hours and hours while I listen to you play your love songs all night long. All me, all to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And now, la 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 Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And now I'll light the fire while you place the flowers in the vase that you bought today.
All right, and we're back
Yeah.
in our studio.
Mm-hmm.
Paloma, what do you have to say about the song?
Let's see. Overall, it's just it's a feel-good vibe,
Right?
but like the chill kind of feel-good vibe.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's very fun. You mentioned before we played the song that Joni Mitchell was connected to the song.
Yeah.
I was racking my head the entire time the
Uh-huh.
song was playing, like, where do I know her from? I still haven't figured it out.
Oh, no.
We'll get back to you on that. But my mom was talking about how she wants to go see Brandi Carlile in June on, like, this trip or whatever. And
Yeah.
hopefully Joni would be making a cameo at
Hey,
that.
yo.
So that's kind of cool.
Yo.
Yeah, I didn't know she was still doing stuff.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Real impressive of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, our next song we have is Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. I am very excited about this one.
Uh-huh.
An absolute banger.
Yeah.
You have anything you want to tell us before we start?
Nothing except that this was an obligatory ad
Oh,
for
of
me.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta have Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
On a 60s and 70s list?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, here we go. Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.
Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. But listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost and what it's only me who wants to wrap around your dreams. And have you any dreams you like to sell? Dreams of loneliness like a heartbeat drives you back in the stillness of remembering what you had and what you love. What you had, oh, what you love. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. You'll know. You will know. Oh, you'll know.
All right, and we're back. Paloma, what do you have for us for this song?
Okay, so it's what I have to say is less about the song and more about the band.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I know that a lot of people associate Fleetwood Mac with Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham.
As you should.
Yeah, they're not the original members.
No.
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 And I feel like it's important to point that out
Yeah.
because not a lot of people know that.
Fair.
Yeah.
Are those the two people on the cover of the album?
I believe so.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, no. Fleetwood Mac, I think, formed around 1967. This song was released 1977.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah,
They had some time.
yeah. A lot of drama.
Oh boy, yeah. You know?
Yeah. I mean, okay, so do you think Fleetwood Mac drama is on par with Mamas and Papas drama, or is one of them, does one band have more or less drama? Because, like, there was a lot of...
Yeah. I feel like I hear more about the Fleetwood Mac drama in general because I feel like they had more quote-unquote hits than Mamas and the Papas. Because for me, Mamas and the Papas, I just immediately think of California Dreamin' and not a lot else.
Fair.
With Fleetwood Mac, I can think of a bunch of songs just because of like how integrated they were into pop culture, and so when they had drama, I at least I think it had more of an impact. I hear more of that drama than Mamas and Papas, but that could be that's my own bias. So, what do you think?
Okay, which band has been around for longer?
That's
So
also
I feel
a
like
question.
that would be important to the question.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But I think I also just remember there being more coverage of the Fleetwood Mac drama in the Laurel Canyon documentary than in the Mamas and Papas. Than the Mamas and Papas in that documentary.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right. That's cool to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our last song for the night here is Ventura Highway by America.
Yeah.
Anything you want to preview before we get into the last song of the night?
So a little fact that I find really, really funny is this band is actually, so it was started in London by a bunch of Americans.
Nice. Oh, you'll love to hear it.
Yeah, and This song was, I think, it was introduced to me while I was on a camping trip in Santa Fe.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know, it just, again, I'm probably saying feel good vibe, like, a lot today in this hour.
Fair.
But this song is just kind of one of my happy places.
I understand. All right. Ventura Highway by America.
Chewing on a piece of grass, walking down the road. Tell me, how long you gonna stay here, Joe? Some people say this town don't look good in snow. You don't care, I know. Ventura Highway in the sunshine, where the days are longer, the nights are stronger than moonshine. You're gonna go, I know. Cause the free wind is blowing through your hair, and the days surround your daylight there. Seasons crying, no despair. Alligator lizards in the air, in the air. Wishing on a falling star, waiting for the early train. Sorry boy, but I've been hit by purple rain. Oh, come on, Joe, you can always change your name. Thanks a lot, son, just the same. Ventura Highway in the sunshine, where the days are longer, the nights are stronger than moonshine. You're gonna go, I know. Cause the free wind is blowing through your hair, and the days surround your daylight there. Seasons crying, no despair. Alligator lizards in the air, in the air.
All right, that was Ventura Highway by America. Thank you for listening to WBCR. This was Beloit Circus Jams, hosted by yours truly, Julianna.